Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday. Morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I am on my morning walk at the moment. It is currently 8:30. Today is a work from home day. I like to get some steps in before work because at the moment I'm on 15,000 steps a day. And as you can imagine, if I don't get some steps in before work, it starts getting a little bit trickier during the day to meet my daily step target. So yeah, luckily today isn't raining. If it is raining, then sometimes I'll just get a session in on the treadmill instead, on the walking treadmill that I have at home. Just on my way home now to log on and start work. All right, everyone, so I'm back home now from my morning walk. I've logged on to work. It is currently 9:45. I've delayed breakfast by a little bit because today I have meetings between 12 and 1:30, and I'm going to the gym later, so I don't want to eat lunch at like 11. So I'm going to delay lunch till after my meetings at like 1:30. So I'm having a slightly later breakfast. Got myself a protein yogurt and also making some oats. And then the last part of the breakfast is also a cup of juice and also a soft-boiled egg. So yeah, that's my breakfast. Alright, so a few of you have asked me some questions on Instagram and I thought I would answer them here. First question, what's it like being less fat? In brackets, I've forgotten. Well, unfortunately, I am still quite fat. Although the cut has started, I'm not that lean yet. I'm still quite early on into my cut, so I still identify as fat and I am in fact still fat. I am, however, going to Lisbon and Porto at the end of this week for 6 days, and I should be averaging over 20k steps a day. I've also heard that Lisbon is very hilly, so I think I'm going to be getting quite a few steps there, and I think my weight's going to drop, and hopefully the cut, I'll start getting leaner through that holiday as well, although I will be having a lot of good food, so the jury's still out on the weight. Next question, when are your shows and when does prep start? This year I'm doing 3 shows. They'll be in September and October. They're all domestic, so they're all within the UK. I didn't want to fly anywhere because it's my first time competing, so I didn't want to add unwanted kind of variables into the kind of prep and peak week process. Didn't really want to fly when I don't really have much data to begin with in terms of, the water retention and stuff like that. Also, first time competing, I didn't want to add unnecessary cost to it. And then in terms of prep, it's actually not long now. I think it's a 10-day still prep start as I record this video. Effectively, it starts as soon as I get back from holiday in Portugal. How are you feeling about prep? I'm excited and nervous at the same time. I've put a lot into this, so I'm excited to get lean again because I've been bulking for 40 weeks and I just kind of want to see the kind of results from that. At the same time, I'm excited because at the end of it, I have shows, right? And I've always wanted to do shows, I've always wanted to step on stage. So being able to do something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, naturally I'm very excited for. Third of all, this has kind of been an accumulation of years of work, right? I might not have had the idea to step on stage within my first few years of lifting, but those first few years still contributed to what I'm going to be able to bring to the stage. So in that sense, I'm quite excited because it's effectively been many years in the making. And then in terms of the nervousness, I think because it's my first time going through a bodybuilding prep And as some of you may know, it's completely different to like a normal cut, which I've done before, but I've never done a bodybuilding prep before. So in that sense, I'm quite nervous because it's something new. And also I know how tough it can be, both physically and mentally. So from speaking to people with more experience and that have gone through bodybuilding preps themselves, I kind of know to a certain degree what's in store, that it's going to be tough, but I don't really know the true extent of it. So that's why I'm still a bit nervous, but either way, I'm excited to do it. So, yeah. I'm now making my pre-workout and intra-workout for when I go to the gym. I have my intra-workout here, Carb X. I have the Orange Burst flavor. And I need to make my pre-workout. So today, I actually have a new pre-workout flavor that literally just came about an hour ago. Blackberry lemonade, Savage pre-workout. Not sponsored yet, but yeah. I normally have the peach one right here, but I thought I'd try a new flavor today. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping that it'd come out all in like one lump and be like really satisfying, but it came out in bits and it wasn't actually that satisfying. But yeah, smells nice at least, so yeah. Don't know if you can see, but I've got really powdery fingers now. So I've got my straps and my wraps and, you know, my cuffs, the fancy stuff in my bag already, but it's now getting hot, so I'm bringing a vest, and I am bringing a fan. Why do you want to compete? The reason behind wanting to compete is actually having a purpose. I started going to the gym second year of uni. Back then my motivation was kind of getting back into shape such that I could play rugby again. So I played rugby in school. I was never really good at it. I was like 60 kilos. So I just got bounced off. Like I couldn't do anything on the pitch. And then after school, when I got to uni, I stopped because, you know, if I was way too skinny for school, I definitely couldn't play at uni, whether it was a uni level or college level. So I kind of stopped. At some point in second year, I had kind of like a realization that if I don't play rugby now, I'm not realistically not going to be able to play it after uni, because it's not like other sports like football. You can play five-a-side after uni. It's easier to organise. So I thought, let me make use of this chance that I have now that I'm at uni to play rugby. So that's why I decided to go to the gym to kind of get back in shape for that, so that in third year I could play college rugby, which I did, and I was still absolutely awful at. I'm sure people that went to uni with me can testify to that. So after uni, I kind of lost kind of my sense of purpose in the gyms, and what am I kind of doing it for? So I tried dabbling in between bodybuilding and powerlifting. So I would do, you know, the classic squat, bench and deadlift, and at the same time do my accessories. But once I got my job, I realized that I could only do one and not balance both. And between powerlifting and bodybuilding, I chose bodybuilding. So then I started training like a bodybuilder, but then that didn't give me a sense of purpose either, because then I'm just there like, why am I, after a long day of work, keep going to the gym? You know, don't get me wrong, I love the confidence that has come with it. I like the way it has completely transformed my life. But in terms of the day-to-day, what am I working towards? I don't really have a goal here. So that's when I started looking to bodybuilding shows, and I slowly felt, as the more I looked into it, the more I fell in love with the sport, and now it's come to me doing this natural bodybuilding show. So yeah. It is currently 8:15. Just finished with a push session. Gonna do some posing practice now. We'll have to see what we look like after the holiday. I would envision myself getting probably a little bit leaner. I have sourced some gyms actually, which I'm going to take you all to as well. Weight should drop a little bit, and then we'll go straight into the swing of things and start prep. So yeah, now time to go home for dinner. What's my job? So I work in finance, specifically sustainable investments. Essentially, I work on sustainable ESG funds. Now, ESG means environmental, social, and governance. So within finance, within funds, I work on the ones which are sustainable or have the sustainable label on it. So my role would involve designing models of such sustainable funds. It would involve looking at rules and regulations, seeing what needs to be included, what doesn't, and effectively just coming up with a framework for it. Favorite cheat day meal? I'd say my favorite cheat day meal isn't actually that much of a cheat meal. My favorite cuisine is Japanese, so my cheat meal is actually sushi. And as you can imagine, sushi is actually quite, relatively healthy as far as cheat meals go. Yes, it might have the rice is like sushi rice, but still, it's just rice, and you have fish on it, so you still have your protein. So yeah, sushi is definitely my favorite cheat meal. Just gonna make myself some dinner after the gym. On the menu today is, can you see it? Some steak with I put some garlic on the pan. Got some Korean barbecue sauce, and I have some rice cooking. 5 minutes left. Oh, this is a good one. What are your thoughts on run clubs and high rocks taking over the UK fitness scene? First of all, for context, I don't run, and I don't really train high rocks either. Currently, I don't have plans on competing in high rocks or becoming a runner. It's completely appeared out of nowhere, from my point of view, from my perspective. It seems like people are enjoying it. People who are doing it really like it. The social aspect of it, getting for a run together and then grabbing a coffee, having some pastries, and high rocks as well, which has become absolutely massive. If people find it fun and helps them get healthier, get in better shape, stay consistent because they find it, more enjoyable, then I'm all for it. I said it was a two-sided answer because with the rise of high rocks and run clubs also comes with the rise of quote-unquote hybrid athletes, which personally I don't have an issue. I know some people do, but I don't have an issue with the term hybrid athletes per se, although I am kind of wary of too many people claiming to be hybrid athletes. Now, just to start this off, I am not a hybrid athlete. I'm very one-dimensional, which is purely bodybuilding, full stop. But I think that if you are a, let's say, bodybuilder who goes on run every couple times a week, I don't really think you can claim to be a hybrid athlete if you're not effective, if you're running like for cardio purposes. And the opposite is true. I think if you are a runner, I'm not sure if you can claim, in my opinion, to be a hybrid athlete if you are lifting for strength and conditioning purposes, lifting casually. True hybrid athletes, in my mind, would be, the old school CrossFit athletes where they clearly lift, they have a really good physique, and at the same time, they're one of the fittest people on earth. that to me seems more like hybrid athlete. I think there should be a certain level of threshold to be able to coin the term hybrid athlete, because I feel like everyone and the mums and the dads and their uncles are now claiming to be hybrid athletes, and they're kind of diluting the kind of credibility and respect that comes with the term hybrid athlete. That's just kind of my 2 cents on it. Ultimately, who really cares what I think? So, yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with not being good at multiple disciplines, by the way. Like me included, I'm not. I'm awful. I'm far from that. I mean, if you told me to run, you'll probably laugh. I'll probably laugh. Um, so not that there's anything wrong with it. It makes things less one-dimensional, and it keeps you enjoying the fitness journey. Then I think definitely works for you. Should do it. I'm in full 100% support of that. How much do genetics matter in bodybuilding? It depends on what level you're at. I think if you're at the amateur level, it doesn't matter as much as you think. You can definitely, let's say get a pro card, IFBB pro card, in my opinion, if you don't have the best genetics. You just need to turn up to the show, conditioned, dry, full, train hard, have good off seasons, good discipline, stuff like that. But if you're talking about like the top Olympia level, I think massively. I think genetics kind of, in a way, set your ceiling, in my opinion. Not that, if you have good genetics, you automatically be in high places. It just means that your ceiling's higher, and you might be able to get further in a shorter amount of time, depending on which part of genetics is blessed. But that's not guaranteed, right? You still have to put in the work, etc. When I say massively, it matters massively. What I mean by that is, if you have bad genetics, even if you have the best discipline and work ethic and it's consistency, etc., if you have a gap in your chest, you have a gap in your chest. There's nothing wrong with that. But in the eyes of bodybuilding, which is so subjective, and you kind of have each division has a kind of look that they're going for. If your genetics don't allow you to conform to that look, the harsh reality is you're probably not going to be able to do too well on the top level. And don't get me wrong, if you have a muscular chest, even if you have a gap in it, it still looks absolutely insane, right? So in terms of body confidence and also just walking around, it will still definitely improve your own confidence about yourself, and it's still definitely very, very, very impressive. I guess it just means that within this specific niche sport of bodybuilding, your ceiling's probably been set. But as I said, I think in the amateur level, even if you have below average genetics, you can still get quite far. Even if you have, let's say, a thicker waist. Look at Wesley Vizes, who did really well at the Arnold this year. So yeah, thank you very much for sending in your questions. And I'll see you all next time in Portugal.